Big Homie is back for part 2, Celebrity Bodyguard. I want to ask him about some celebrity stories. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. We had an amazing chat with Big Homie over in part 1. If you missed it, go give it some love. He's really a good one out there, helping making sure the ladies stay safe. He was one of the first ones out there calling out Diddy. For all those reasons and more, thank you, my man, for that. And thank you for being here. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor.
Yeah, well, honor to have you, man. And we didn't talk about some of the celebs in part 1. I sort of was like, let's put that part 2. We'll get some of these reactions because we talked about you being poisoned. You think you were poisoned, still trying to really fully prove how and why. But Jamie Foxx has been out there encouraging this as well. Like, he's fueling these rumors. There's a whole talk about this comedy special where some who were there saying he's confirming, yeah, he was too. That's why he had this issue. Some are saying, oh no, that's not what happened. He just sort of joked about it. What are your thoughts on Jamie Foxx and this now rumor that's swirling that he's about to announce he was in fact poisoned by Diddy as well?
Well, when he was asked about this in a public setting, he could have easily denied it, but he did not. I was informed that it was his daughter and his mother who had called and reported the incident. Mr. Foxx said that he asked his partner for an Advil and he woke up 22 days later. In my life, I know how cheap the price of life is. And if you know you're under some federal scrutiny and you know there's some people who may know too much about you, you may have incentive to want to silence them or get rid of them. You know, it's just simple facts.
Do you, in your experience, was Jamie Foxx a good one or was he a troubling one? Do you have any insight on him?
I don't have any negative insight about Mr. Foxx. I never seen him doing anything questionable. There are rumors that, well, not rumors, but you know, they say he used to have naked basketball games at his house or whatever. But my thing is, like, as long as as long as it's all consensual or no one's being forced or tricked or coerced into doing something, that's y'all business. You know, it only becomes a problem when people are getting victimized for your pleasure. That's when problems, that's when things start to blur the lines between pleasure and just sexual deviant activity.
Yeah, well said. Again, I don't care what people are doing in private. So, all right, there it is. We're still waiting to see if Jamie Foxx will come forward. You talked about Ray J, and I'm curious because Ray J's been out there a lot, sort of trying to get some attention. You mentioned that you think he could be a co-conspirator. Do you think he's out there warring with the Combs brother, the kids, and everything else to try to save face? Do you think he's a hero or a villain in this story?
I seen Ray J with Diddy and F. Gary Gray in Vegas myself. You know, this is somebody who always partied with Combs. Nicki Minaj and Ray J were on a live, and she asked Ray J when was he going to come out the closet. You know, if you look at the grand scheme of things, why would his sons be so upset with Ray J if they didn't look at Ray J as someone who was one of them? Why would they be feeling betrayed because he went on certain news outlets and said what he said?
Interesting. So you're not calling him a hero. You're saying there might be more to it.
Definitely not a hero.
It is. We played this game with Jaguar. I was getting the logo up. It's Diddy, hero or villain. I'm playing the round. We're doing another round with Big Homie because he knows the celebrities, and she was rattling off her thoughts. But before I do have one more, I want to ask you about Busta Rhymes. He's out there like, oh man, everyone's opinions on Diddy are thirsty and rushed. Mind your own damn business. What do you think of Busta Rhymes coming and saying that? Is that fair? Should we wait until it's officially charged? Or do you think, like many of us, we have enough opinions, they're justified, and we can call out Diddy? What do you think it Busta's?
Have you ever seen Busta Rhymes with a woman?
I honestly, I haven't looked at whether it was men, women, or anybody. I don't hang out with Busta Rhymes. Have you?
I don't hang out with him, but I've never seen him with a lady. And there's plenty of videos of him on the YouTube space showing his displeasure towards ladies when they do certain things. You know, there are people out here with their stories about how they dated Busta Rhymes. You know, everyone is just not a liar. And, you know, whatever someone does, people should be allowed to love who they want to love without being judged for it. It only becomes a problem when you are victimizing others for your pleasure. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I do think it's a cultural thing. There's definitely like, especially in hip hop, right? Like being with a dude is not approved in a lot of those circles. Clearly,
it's not
but right.
Most of them indulge that way.
But that's what's interesting is then it seems like so a lot of these guys were then doing it in private because they clearly couldn't come out, or doing it out of depravity just because they were so effed up or going crazy with it. So yeah, I mean, I guess the allegation I'm reading between the lines is Diddy clearly was around a lot of gentlemen privately. You're implying Busta Rhymes might have enjoyed such a party. Is that am I reading between the lines correctly?
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, more hero villain. Here we go. And a list of a couple other people. JayZ and Beyonce. You've called them out. A lot of people come out. Now, Jaguar Wright has called them out. Piers Morgan had to cut it from the show. So we're always a little worried, but I'm not. I look, these are your opinions. You're allegedly. What do you think? JayZ and Beyonce, do you think they got something to hide?
I've never experienced anything negative with Mr. Carter or his wife. My encounters with them have always been pleasurable, positive. You know, I've never called them out for anything. You know, whenever I was asked about them, I just said they're icons, which they are. You know, JayZ has been active in civil rights. You know, he helped stop the stop and frisk in New York. He helped stop racial profiling in luxury stores. You know, he's helped with criminal justice efforts. You feel me? So like, when it comes to this aspect of things applying to them, I can't confirm or deny anything, but I could just speak on my personal experience with them. They've been upstanding for sure.
All right, there we go. We got a hero from him out of his experience, and good to hear because a lot of people are out there saying otherwise. I've heard you talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. We actually had someone who came forward about Leo on our channel, someone who worked with him ages ago about a tape that he made. I've heard that you've talked about you think he could be on some tapes, but that your opinion is he'd just buy it out.
Yeah, so actually a lawyer who was concerned for their safety told me about this gentleman and that he's the A-lister that's on a tape with Combs. So, you know, it gets spooky, man. You know, it gets spooky. You know, there are different layers to everyone. There are different layers to every scene. And his name wouldn't just be coming up like a name out of a hat. We talking about somebody who has been in some of the largest theatrical productions in history. So, you know, I'm sure if it was on any of those type of footage, he's probably paid the fee to own it now.
And legally, to be clear, we have no proof that he's the A-lister or that he's on a tape. Allegedly, I've heard a million different rumors. He's been rumored, as have many. So don't sue us, Leo. I just address it. JLo. A lot of people have opinions on JLo. What is your thoughts on JLo? Is she a hero or a villain? Do you think she's hiding stuff?
Ben Affleck didn't want to get a divorce for no reason.
Interesting. You know, didn't want to get a divorce. There's Suge Knight's out there saying the reason they got the divorce is because Ben realized, oh, there's a lot more Diddy stuff than I knew.
Yeah, you know, when you operate in that private sector of the world, you can be privy to certain knowledge other people don't have. So let's say some investigators, they might look up to Ben Affleck. They might want to say, hey, Ben, look, there's some things we want to show you. It's best to get out ahead of it.
So that's not hard to believe for you. I mean, but that's where you said he didn't want to divorce her. So you have no bad experiences with JLo, I guess, is what I'm asking.
No, not me personally. But she did date Combs. And while they were dating, a person was shot in the strip club. She was a witness. Shine ended up doing 10 years in prison. And Shine said that Combs ruined his life.
Yeah, it's hard. It definitely feels like there's more to the story there than we're hearing regarding JLo, I guess is the issue. But you have no firsthand recollection or can't confirm or deny some of the other rumors. Fair enough. Ashton Kutcher, he's out there seemingly apparently nervous as heck because there's a lot of clips that they haven't aged well with the amount of womanizing he and Diddy were doing. Do you think there was anything more to it?
Of course, he reminds me of one of those guys who had an epiphany and did a pivot and had to change their heart with some of his activity throughout his life.
It's like Russell Brand suddenly found Jesus.
yeah. So we on the same page with that, and that's the vibe I get from Mr. Kutcher, for sure.
What about Mr. Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith? Now we've gotten into them a lot. We had Brother Bilal on way back who was saying some very nasty things about this duo. We are not fans of Jada. I'm curious, have you had any experience with them? Do you have any thoughts? Do you think they've got something to hide? That was a long pause. That said a lot. I mean, honestly, I don't think you need to say anything else.
Yeah, man. I got certain connections to certain people, and I'm going to plead the fifth on this.
Fair enough. You do have to work. You still have to be a celebrity bodyguard, so I get you. Okay. But we'll take that as it is. Someone who I guess you won't have to be a bodyguard for is Ellen. She's leaving the country. Did you hear this? She is now getting out of the country. More and more clips are unsurfacing of her sort of giving sick kids to Diddy, calling them Cuddle McSnuggle stuff. I mean, it looks bad, man. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Queen of and Now Mean has maybe some bigger skeletons, Diddy skeletons in that closet?
Ellen knows what's going on. She knows what's taking place. Like, people not relocating out the country just because of the presidential elect winning.
It's a drastic move.
Severely drastic. You're gonna go someplace where extradition is gonna be hard.
Your opinion. You have no proof of that. We're allegedly. So you think actions are suspicious?
I've been saying it for years. In this industry, everybody knows what's going on. It's like a secret society. The internet and social media being so prevalent these days is the only reason this is a topic of discussion. Point blank.
I know I'm not asking, I'm not putting you to get you in trouble, but like you rep a lot of ladies. Do you hear things that we're never going to hear that clearly are problematic? I'm talking away from Diddy. Are there more Diddies or at least problematic people out there that still to this day, or do you think people are getting more nervous because of this Diddy situation?
People are just going more and more underground now. I could say things on here ruin marriages, careers. I could really break the internet, but that's not my intention. I didn't speak on anybody I did good business with. I didn't speak on anybody that I'm still under contract with. And I knew in order to get my message out, I would have to throw some people under the bus, and it's well deserved. So, there's a lot more that I could say about a plethora of different people, and I probably won't.
Well, it's smart. I get, because it's loyalty. It's like, it's snitching. There's a little bit of that, but at the same time, I don't see it as that. I think you're drawing a line. You're like, ethically, this is wrong.
Definitely drawing a line, and I've always done that. I've been fired a lot of times simply because I'm drawing the line. Or I'm gonna say, we're not partaking in that. Well, you work for me. No. I don't care if I work for you. The literature in that contract that you signed says that nobody can supersede what I have to say in a time of crisis. So if I dictate that something is a crisis, what I'm going to say here is what's going to have to go. If not, I've been paid up front. I can leave. All strategy.
It's interesting. We need the big homie security firm where we know it's got the big homie stamp of approval where They can't buy you. They can't sneak the women off behind you. And that way the people who sign up with you, we all can feel better knowing, oh, this isn't some shady Diddy game.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I stand on that. My moral compass and my principles that I stand on mean a lot to me. There's a certain level of valor that comes to people who, whether other people are teamed up against you, that you stand on all 10. And that's what I do. You know, if you want to escalate it to any type of level of violence or danger, I'll meet you there. You know, I don't have no problem with that. But, you know, in order to combat evil, man, sometimes you got to resort to heinous activity. And it is what it is.
I got one more couple for you. Ready? Hero or villain? Just curious. It's a more wild one. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. Have you heard any dark stuff? Are they any weird dark circles, or is it all just seem nonsense, the rumors?
That gentleman pretty much showed open rebellion to the family norms and rules. Look at the complexion of his wife, the fact that he didn't accept the crown, the fact that he said that since I went against my family, I'm broke. These are things that he said, you know. So like, I don't know that man. I don't know his wife. You know, I'm not from the UK. You know, I'm not extremely familiar with the royal family to be able to pass judgment on them. But like I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And a lot of times you got to read between the lines, for sure.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, he's a rebellious one, so you wouldn't be surprised if he's at some rebellious parties. All right, you heard it here. My Palace viewers will find that very fascinating. Big homie, my man. What a pleasure. Make sure you go follow him. I'd love to have you back as things happen here. We taped this before the hearing came out. We don't know if he got out or not during these tapes, but for the Thanksgiving week, I banked some of this to take some time with the family. So I appreciate you being here. Make sure you go support Big Homie over on YouTube, Big Homie CC on YouTube, Instagram, Big Homie Vlogs on YouTube. Such a pleasure thing. Anything else you want to say to the fans watching?
I just want to thank everybody who supports me. I see all the messages. To the people who call me on Instagram to say prayers for me, I appreciate it. I thank you. Overwhelming amount of support that I've been receiving. Me and the team, I thank you. Thank you to Popcorn Planet. Thank you for Andy for having me on. Until next time.
Love it. You'll be back. We'll have him back. Let us know what you think. Please keep us posted on that dark underbelly. They may be going underground, but let's keep the light shining. You keep us posted. You can tip me off anytime. So celebrities beware. I got an off-the-record source now who might be looping me in. So you better all be kind out there and not doing shady stuff. Appreciate all you guys who are watching. Stay tuned for more. Hit that bell, all that jazz, and check on these videos.